Hello, everyone. Welcome back. We are at the start of the medieval era. We have selected the Teutons, and we managed to wipe out one competitor. I believe in the last episode, though it might have been in the first. Anyway, they had picked the Phoenicians. We took over a couple of their cities. We got one of the cities up here from an independent people that had spawned in. And we're currently thinking about war against Purple here, who we have a non-aggression pact with at the moment. But I am thinking about breaking that in the very near future. We have, like I said, selected the Teutons, so expansionist stars are our primary star, and at this point we have attached available territory, so we need to be taking it off other people. So, that in mind, excuse me, we are going to go ahead and get these swords upgraded. I'm going to wait on the archers because I am going to go straight into war summons for access to crossbows. And you'll see that when upgrading to a unit, it doesn't matter how close in tech you are. It always costs the same amount to upgrade. And I'm not going to use the noble javelineers before I have access to the crossbows, so there's really no point in upgrading them right now. So I'm going to hold off on that. Now, I will get a few of the Kaiserdoms because they do act as makers' quarters, and they provide faith per district that you have. Yeah, right there is fine. So what this will allow me to do is really effectively spread my faith. And I benefit a lot from that because as the Teutons, I have this legacy trait of +1 money and +1 science per state religion follower. And I have a ton of pops. And I want my religion to spread to other places so that I can, when I take them over, I'm also benefiting from that. So after we go for war summons, we're going to go feudalism into chivalry because we want access to the Teutonic Knights as soon as possible. They are very powerful units. They do have some limitations because they're mounted, of course. So do keep that in mind. Spy out the Kuna there. I already have a builder star. So I have three stars from the moment I entered the era, which is the telltale sign of a good previous era, is starting with a lot of stars. And there's a lot of stuff I could use in here. I will need at least 2 science cities, but this looks really good for market quarters over here. That said, there is some science in here. I'll probably end up replacing that district at some point. Let's build out over this way. This area can get turned into some market quarters, and then maybe we can get some science quarters over here. I'd prefer to specialize as much as possible, though. And I've talked about reasons for that in the past. But basically, the less specialized your cities are, the more infrastructure they need. And it becomes really inefficient to be building all that infrastructure. So I'm going to build a... forgot to get a horse ranch there, and I noticed that I did not purchase this ebony yet. So, yep, getting a decent bit of industry from that. Excuse me. Still battling my cough. Okay, I did go with market quarters down here, which is just fine. Just going to queue a bunch of those up. We don't need all the food coming from down there. I do have a pretty sizable amount of production in this city, and an artisan workshop would not go to waste given the amount of pops I have. So the artisan workshop gives +1 production per worker, and I have 12 workers, so that's 12 production I'll be getting from that every turn. And hopefully more in the future. Okay, so over here we're focusing on research quarters. We have a couple other basic items queued up. We do need this flood irrigation. We want to fill out our pops a little bit more. And okay, that research quarter is going there. So we'll build a research quarter right here to get adjacent to the iron mine because that'll be more efficient. So you can see the iron mine has some base science already. So if we put it here, it's +8. And if we put it here, it's like +7, or over here it's +5. So right there, and we'll fill out around that, that iron. I could buy this out, but I want to save my money. I am going to have to upgrade some units next turn. Urgent Affairs, Land Rights. Can go for this. I don't have enough money over influence to make this worth it. I don't care about claiming and attaching and merging with money. But plus 10 food per number of attached territories is marginally useful, but this plus 5% industry is pretty good, considering I have a decent amount of industry, particularly in my main cities. So a little bit of extra industry never hurt anyone. Okay, don't have animal barns here yet. Don't have artificial reservoirs. Don't have forge. Don't have watermill. Let's prioritize forge. It'll get things faster. We can build that right now, actually, and then build the Kaiserdom. So forge will get me a little bit of influence on my maker's quarters, as well as some extra... did I say influence? I meant a little more production on my maker's quarters, and a little bit of extra production based on the number of copper that I have. So we're going to go ahead and break this treaty that I have with the Greeks. Because I want to start building some more supports there. Now I do have crossbows, so you can see this is 200 to upgrade on the archers, and it's 200 to upgrade the noble javelineers. So I always prioritize when I'm upgrading the lower tech unit, because it's the same cost, and the higher tech unit is generally more valuable. In this case, I have enough to do both. We're going to need some more units over here. Harappa is probably the place to build them. Build a whole army, and I think I'm going to do that. I already have a fair number of crossbows. I think I need some more, up-to-date blocker units, so let's get those pikemen. And we will let the artisans' workshop finish there. Okay, feudalism next. Oh, who declared war on me? The Aztecs. Okay, well, they might, try to cross the ocean or something. That's a weird war declaration. We don't really know anything about each other. They're still in the medieval. They're behind me in fame by a decent amount. Dismiss. Yeah, keep going on the homeland axis. Don't want to disrupt that at all. Want that extra combat strength. One of the most important things in the game, to be honest. Okay, you can get a forge here. That'll give... I think I have 2 copper, so right out the gate it gives plus 10 industry. Oh, I only have 1 copper, so that's only plus 5. Unless I'm missing one. It's only plus 5, but I do have a couple maker's quarters, the kunas. Might be more efficient to just build another maker's quarter. I think it is. Yeah, let's build the maker's quarter and then the forge. And then let's see. Down here is a good spot for market quarters. Excuse me. And because we have this religious tenet, give alms, I have more efficient market quarters than most other players, unless they have gemstones, of course. So I'm getting plus 5 money on market quarters, so I have a competitive advantage when it comes to generating money from those quarters. So let's see if blue actually shows up here. I have seen the AI actually cross the ocean in some circumstances. And just in case they do that, let's get Palisades. This city was developed really funky because it's one that I took over from the AI. Still have plenty of food. We'll let the Palisades finish. This would be good to get both of these. Let's get the animal barns. They're kind of a core thing that you need in most of your cities. And then we can get the +1 science per population as well. Okay. They're waiting until the rest of this army finishes. Just a little bit more time on the crossbow. And 3 turns and I'll have chivalry, which means I will also have access to the Teutonic Knights. I will have to build them straight up. I don't have any way to upgrade them at the moment. I don't have horsemen and that kind of stuff. Okay, so this is going to be a very awkward city to siege once I decide to do that, which will be in the near future. I can trespass freely, but I'm totally blocked by those science quarters at the moment. So we're going to want to... Let's see. Don't need fanatical. My faith is doing plenty well. Learning on cities and moving me towards the social axis is great. Let's keep on keeping on that. A little extra faith wouldn't hurt. But I can get some research quarters in here. I will need more science, particularly since I haven't picked any science cultures yet. So, though, down here is really good for market quarters. So who do I have on science? I think it's just really this one city right here. I don't want to go overboard on market quarters. At the same time, Athens might be okay once I take that over to generate me some science. Okay. Well, I do want to declare war here soon. I'm going to go ahead and save the game because I find war declarations screw up the game a lot. Or they can. They have a tendency to screw up the game sometimes. Just going to surprise war it and just march right in here and start sieging. Okay, they want to attack me. They have a lot of warriors. You're going to back up over here. Yeah, it should be fine. We're going to move our swords kind of out of the way. Ooh, though, that's a freebie right there. Let's move him back. That gives me line of sight. And who is a reinforcement? Okay. You can't shoot anyone at the moment, so we'll go ahead and get the swordsman in. And we're just going to let them come to me and let this crossbow plink at them. Because it's really the only one that's going to be able to. I might be able to hit him with this crossbow. Okay, looks like they might go around the back that way. And if this drags out, I can bring these guys in as reinforcements and go up the other side of the battlefield too. Alright, so, yep, can shoot right there. I can shoot him there. Let's move these guys and move fresh swordsmen in. Distribute the damage as much as possible. Get up on the high ground here in case that's useful for something. I don't think it will be. Shoot and shoot. They still have a lot of units left, so this is going to take a little while. I don't really need to advance. They sallied out, which was actually really foolish of them. In this case, because of how narrow the path is, you're much more likely to win by just holding on to your flag than you are by like killing all the units or something. So attacking is great when you can attack a lot of units at the start. But defending is better when you have this massive train advantage where everything has to funnel through a single tile bridge. Okay. We are going to get like one of these Kaiserdoms in all of my cities so that I have a fair bit of faith generation. Because they do count as Maker's Quarters as well, so it's not like I'm only getting faith from them. Shoot there, shoot there. Keep cycling our swords. And can we get this guy in this turn? It looks like we can. And we can move him up in this direction. Looks like, actually I can't. Yeah, they don't quite have enough movement, so I have to wait another turn. Okay. Da-da-da. Just hanging out, you know, doing siege attacking things. This is the Siege of Athens all over again, except I'm not the Spartans, but soon they'll all be dying of disease. Okay, very easy siege, that one. They are very far behind on tech. It seems like they probably got bullied by the blue player. Okay, let's get stoneworks. Very little production there. Get our artisan workshop. We want the food market. I'm actually going to prioritize that over the artisan workshop because then we are going to start getting our market quarters down here. All right. There we go. Sorry. Have to clear my throat once again. Okay, tech. So theology into alchemy is the way to go here. The rest of this doesn't matter too much to me at the moment. Harappa working on a market quarter. And then it's time to just get an army of Teutonic Knights. I'll buy the market quarter out on the next turn, I think. Yeah, 350 is worth it. So we'll get to work on the Teutonic Knights. Alright. And back to work with the crossbows. So do I have any full health swords left? This guy has pretty decent health here. Though there's only a scout left, so it doesn't matter too much. They'll be just fine. It took a lot of damage there, actually. There's a lot of randomness in the damage, particularly on like very low tier units against very high tier units. They can do anywhere from 5 to 25 damage, which is a massive difference if you think about it. And it kind of becomes really frustrating in the late game because the AI will have a bunch of draftees and they'll sally out to attack your clearly superior army, and then they'll just like suicide every single unit that they have into you. And even though they're super low tier, because they do a minimum amount of damage, they end up killing your units. Yeah, so Athens only had that one territory, I guess. They only had that one city. Well, this gives me access to San Lorenzo now. And Athens, what are you doing? Okay, so I can't actually build districts in here yet. Okay, so because the stability will stop me from doing that for like 5 turns. What I'm going to do is get some basic infrastructure online. This looks like an independent people. We'll go take care of that and attach it to Athens so it actually becomes a useful city. Seems like they founded another city already, but I can't tell where. Let's see. So, science quarters here. A lot of adjacency, and we'll get that one right there as well. Got our Aerostars. Let's get some more efficient science going as well. This would be nice, but I already fill all my jobs right now, so I don't need any more food in that city. I already have Aerostars. Definitely want my expansionist stars, right? They're the most important ones to me this era. Can easily get scientist stars, can probably get one of the aesthete stars. Agrarian and militarist stars should be no problem. Plenty of fame left to get in this era, so I am not taking an era up anytime soon. See. Yeah, those are not important. Religious tolerance, I'm going to take religious hostility. Gives me more faith, which I'm already very good at, and I get grievances against people with different religions, which is amazing for me because I am playing a religious-focused culture. And I'm getting 121 money from my culture trait, which is basically enough to provide upkeep for my entire army right now, so that's pretty nice. How much science am I getting? That's right, 121. It would be the same value. But that's making up, like, over 10% of my total science output right now. Excuse me. So I'm going to wait for my knights to come online before I go after blue. I am an Ooh, hello. Free war score? Yeah, free war score. Okay. Let's get my crossbows on the front there, and they can just shoot them right away. Okay, I can't see them. There they are. And can shoot them from there. If you don't know, when you hover over where you're moving, it'll outline people that you're able to shoot from that location if you're using a ranged unit. So make good use of that. Oh, I can't because this guy's blocking line of sight. That's too bad. Let's move you up. Let's see, where can I move you that you can shoot him? That's fine. Just want to provide as much adjacency as possible to these swordsmen because they're going to take a beating since they're on low ground and on a river. Aha, they have reinforcements all of a sudden. Okay, that's fine. Just one swordsman, so no big deal. Don't know where their army is, particularly since they're the Aztecs. They should have a decent-sized one. They are militarists, after all. Okay, so over here, let's get, we need more pop jobs. I have too much food still. 7 science right there. Wouldn't be too bad. Yeah, let's get some science up in this area. I do need at least 2 science cities, so I think this one as my second science city will work just fine for me. Okay, Teutonic Knights still coming out. Go ahead and siege this city. I'm going to burn it down once I get it and just attach it straight to Athens. Okay, they're actually letting me attack for once, even though so I'm lower combat strength, so they're letting me attack. I feel like the logic on this got reversed somewhere along the way. Like, they should try to defend if they have lower combat strength, not attack, you know? Stupid cough. Okay, so let's get these guys out of the way so my crossbows can shoot here. And if I go down here, aha, go for the spearmen. I'm not worried about my crossbows spending a turn in melee, because I have much higher combat strength than these guys do, so they can take that penalty for a turn, and it should not affect me in any significant way. I forgot to bring these guys in before making my last attack. So once you make your last attack, your turn automatically ends, and like, if you don't have any movement or attacks left, you won't be able to bring in any remaining reinforcements. So you have to make sure you do that if you actually want reinforcements. Move those guys out of the way. Let him shoot here. No, okay. Should be able to move him there and finish off those citizens. What do they have left? 3 spearmen still, okay. Okay, let's go ahead and move these swords again. Let my crossbow shoot. There we go, that should do it. Alright. So we'll just waltz right in there and burn that down. We can take Eschew Gluttony, which is probably the pick here. I don't have any commons quarters. I don't have any alliances. Plus 15 industry on main plaza is like fine if you don't have another option, really. But Eschew Gluttony, extra land movement speed, and reduced industry costs on units is pretty good for me as an expansionist and as the Teutons. So let's go ahead and grab that. You can just work on whatever, it doesn't matter. Yeah, I don't have the tech to combine cities yet. It's 2 turns. We'll go ahead and research it. I did finish alchemy. I don't have any holy sites, so not gonna worry about that. I do need alchemist workshops. And even in like Harappa, I might still get it, even though I'm not focusing on science there. I do have more science in this city. But let's prioritize it in these cities where I am going to focus on science. And you know what? Let's buy this out. And then we can get another science quarter over here. Right there is fine. Prioritize that, and then that makes these a little bit more efficient. Particularly this, yeah, it's that one, the school. So you get +1 science on research quarters, or per adjacent research quarters, and then a flat +2 science on research quarters. So it's more efficient the more of them you have. And I want at least 1 more. Ooh, these guys have gemstones. Are my knights done? No, still need 1 turn. Okay. So, buying out units, you can't move them on the turn you buy them out. So you may as well just let them finish producing, unless you need them immediately for defensive purposes. Because if you construct them, they can move on the turn you finish constructing them. So that's why I did not buy out there. Alright, so you're still working on stuff. We'll connect you up in a minute. Let's get some people on science. Once we pillage that, we'll be good to go. And we're going to take the fight to blue in a second. Teutonic Knights are so cool. I love the art on them. Oh, quick, get the outpost down. Okay, so that is a fairly modern army. We're pretty equal on that front. Fight a manual battle there. They'll retreat. Okay. So I want to be in a decent set of terrain, so having some high ground right here will be nice. They might come and try to attack me. I'd prefer to not fight until I have my knights up here in the front. Okay, let's go for... we could go for the Cog to start exploring the ocean, so I think I'm going to do that. Great Swordsman would also be appreciated. Starting to get up there in air stars, really want to get my expansionist stars as soon as possible. I don't want to dally in the era longer than I have to, so... Okay, so they're running away. Let's attach Athens here. Ah, now they're attacking me. Interesting. Are there other units reinforcing? Yes. Okay, let's get our reinforcements in here. We'll have to wait a turn for my Teutonic Knights. So we're going to be playing very defensively here. So have all these units up on the high ground. We don't need anyone on the river there. Again, just defend this high ground in that area. Yeah, let's move him back here. We'll have 1 archer back here. I wish I had a couple more spots, because I don't want to be in these areas. They're pretty vulnerable. This one's on low ground relative to here. This one has a lot of tiles you can attack it from. So I don't want to be sitting on that. Okay, so we'll move these guys here. I'd prefer to defend this high ground, but one of these guys is going to be out in the open, so I'd prefer to stop them moving off the river. Okay, that's my deployment. A lot of these guys aren't going to be able... Oh. I missed that. I was not paying attention, apparently. So I am definitely going to lose a swordsman here. At least it slows down the reinforcements. The battlefield expanded, so I do have access to my knights. So you guys will get to see some Teutonic Knight action here. Very silly of me to lose my swordsman like that. Alright.
Commence primary ignition.
Time to bring in the knights. Yeah, let's just go ahead and one-shot some people. Oh, yeah. Just creep forward. They're so good. I love them so much. Can't quite take him out there. Let's go ahead and take that attack on that crossbow. I do want to get some more modern units up here. These pikemen would be good, but let's take this attack on the Jaguar Warrior. And we're going to move this guy back, move this crossbow forward. Might be able to kill the Jaguar Warrior, and we got it. Alright, so now we want to start bringing the pikemen up here. There are only limited spots available, really, where the crossbows are actually useful, since they require direct fire. Like, there's nowhere I can shoot over friendly units or anything like that, so I can really only make use of a couple of them on the front line on any given turn. Okay, they might have reinforcements that come in the back on the next turn, so I need to watch out for that. Also, they have some high ground here, so I need to move these pikemen out of the way. Alright, Teutonic Knights. Perfect. Yeah, like, even pikemen, which are, you know, supposed to be counters to these kinds of units, I'm still just rolling right over them, you know? Okay, let's get crossbows here, see if we can take him out. Looks like we might be able to. Okay, not quite. It's fine. Okay, we'll move our units out of enemy crossbow range. I'm going to move these crossbows here in case these guys decide to join the party on the next turn. And we'll put a blocker, like, right there. They'll absorb a hit from the enemy crossbows here, too. Okay, he needs to get on the river. Can't really get up to him. So let's move. Let's see. Let's move up here. These guys will all be able to break out off the river on the next turn. Ooh, that was a lot of damage. Okay, should be able to deal with this horseman between my crossbow and my pikeman, or just my crossbow. Okay, take him out. Just take him out. Just run absolutely wild with these guys. Teutonic Knights are just amazing in field battles. They're so good. Let's get him on the river so he can actually move up next turn. Okay. See, I'm focusing on money here. Let's continue that trend. Don't need too much more production than I already have. A little more would be nice, but I don't have great tiles for production here. I could use some more people on production, though. Wow, 36 food. Playing the Harappans has its benefits. I do need a little more growth in this city. At some point, I'll run out of people to fill jobs. Can I move someone onto science somewhere? And it's still not quite enough to... I'm trying to get this in one turn, but looks like it's going to be 2 turns. That's fine. It's not a big deal. Oh, come at me, bro. I am invincible. Yeah, Teutonic Knights, real heroes, that fight. Absolutely crushing them. Gonna take a little bit of time to heal, but no big deal. Okay. San Lorenzo is going to be their main city. We want to make an offensive in that direction. I'm going to hold these guys back here so I kind of have a defender for that territory. And I can finally start really making use of stuff here. Let's buy out flood irrigation so I continue to grow. A water mill would be nice for the extra construction, or the extra production, I mean. Don't have a ton of industry. Would like to get a little bit of base industry up. gosh. Okay, I value this 1 production more than 3 faith. I'm going to put that there. Actually, how expensive is that relative to a maker's quarter? Not much. Okay, so that's still worth it. So if you look at this, 600 production to 585, it's not even going to affect the number of turns it takes to build. So happy to build that instead of a regular maker's quarter with the amount of faith that it will give me. We'll need a forge in here as well. And then we'll have to start getting some science infrastructure online. We do have a fair number of science quarters, though they're not in the best spot, really. But we'll make do with it. Okay, just letting my guys all heal up a bit. Patriotic. See, bountiful. None of these really matter. In case I need the extra production towards units, I'll take that one, but I don't think I need that. Okay, manuscript alterer coming up. I will need a public fountain soon, maybe. There we go, look at that. Plus 13 science, that's the kind of stuff I'm talking about. Alright, let's go for heavy infantry so we can upgrade our swordsmen finally, make them a little bit more effective. Take a look at our Aerostars. Only need 1 more tech on science, a few more pops, 1 more builder. Getting close to aesthete. So what we need to do is try to wrap up this war quickly so that we get our expansionist stars in a reasonable amount of time. Okay, I don't really care about 1 unit hanging out there. Not going to be baited by that. Keep him in friendly territory so he continues to heal. We'll purchase the rest of the healing on the next turn. You guys can start moving over as well. I don't really feel threatened by blue at the moment, which I suppose is the ideal position to be in. Okay, let's just heal them up to max. Go ahead and upgrade these swords. So if you didn't know, when you upgrade units, it actually heals them to full health as well. So if you need to heal and an upgrade is available, just go ahead and upgrade. Just gonna attack him. See if anyone joins his reinforcements. So this will allow me to get like right up here. So I'll have a slight terrain advantage. Gonna move the Teutonic Knights in here, looking to take out as much of their military as I can. Make my life easier. Okay, they're retreating from that. Retreating from that too, that's fine. Alright, let's move these guys in here just in case I need them. Go for a manual battle. Get our units right up there. Okay, they are wisely on the high ground. Don't have any other way to get up there. We'll move right here and capture the flag, though. I want to let these guys come in so I can kill them. Okay, that was a silly position to move to be honest. See if they bring in the reinforcements. Doesn't look like it. Okay, so we'll just finish off that crossbow. And voila. Looks like they have the Temple of Artemis, which would be really nice for me, actually. I'd love to have that. How are they on war support? Okay. I don't want to win too many more battles because their war support will start collapsing. I'm going to go for furnace steel for the high furnace. I do need to secure another copper, though. Where's the admin center in here? Because I could try to steal it. It's in this territory. So we'll have to find the admin center there. Okay, end the turn. Send these guys first since they're a little higher health. Okay, and then we'll move in. Should be able to siege from here. Yep. The assault. They have no reinforcements, just a bunch of peasants. So we are going to clear the firing line here. And just go to town with crossbows. And then, let's see, Great Swordsmen. Yeah, they're quite a bit stronger, so we'll move them there. And we'll get a couple guys adjacent as well. And then we'll keep these guys in the back in case they manage to show up with any reinforcements or we need to cycle out our units or anything like that. I don't want to attack. I'm just going to let them attack me because that is what they will do. Meanwhile, over here, I'd like to get to that army, to be honest. Please stand and fight. Nope. Okay. Well, let's slaughter these guys with some Teutonic Knights. Not fair, really. Okay. Back to this battle. Oh, nice. I have line of sight right there, which is good. Let's move these guys out. That'll allow me to take shots with these two crossbows. Then I'm going to move this pikeman right here and this pikeman down here. Just keeping my damage relatively distributed across all my units, so it's going to reduce the risk that I lose any of my units. It also lets me ensure that I can use all my crossbowmen every turn, because they currently can't fire over this guy since he's only one like terrain tile below, and they need to be two. So we'll cycle this guy back. We will shoot him right there. And who has the highest health? 68, 56, 65. Okay, great swords have the highest health, so I'm going to go ahead and put them back there. Should be able to absorb these next hits pretty easily. There we go, just 2 peasants left. Definitely want to move him out of here now, and we'll get to do that on the next turn. Meanwhile, back at Harappa, let's see, more money is what we want. Not very efficient over there. We'll finish those up, and we'll open up a few more slots to build market quarters in. Meanwhile, over here, we are working on science quarters. Nope, not there. Plus 13 for minus a little bit of food is good. Also don't have the manuscripts thing here. Let's queue that up. Alchemist Workshop just gives a plus flat 10% science, is really nice. Gonna buy it out here so that we just get that science as soon as possible. Alright. My goal is to not take a scientist culture. Mughals would be pretty good, and I think I've only played one game with them so far, actually. Perhaps a little bit to my surprise. And I don't think I've played with them on stream or on any of my games I've shown on the channel either, so perhaps an okay option here. Move these guys up here and give them a little bit of extra adjacency just for that +1 combat bonus. See, anyone else? Oh, yes. Come to me. Okay, well, if they're going to run, what we're going to do is use under one banner to steal this spot right here. It does cost a lot of money, but I may not have the war score. Yeah, I won't, because I'm not going to be able to take this city before they surrender. So I'm going to have to settle with taking this and some territories. But by taking this territory here, I can hopefully avoid that. Oh, did I just attack with that? Ooh, I did not mean to do that. I was not paying attention. Gotta see if I can kill him with my crossbows now. Okay. Thankfully, that's the last unit, so no big deal. There we go. San Lorenzo, definitely taking this in the peace conference. Will be all mine. The knights can just hang out. Extra health regeneration. Yeah, fine. I don't really want either of those. It doesn't matter. Alright. Getting close to my expansionist stars now. And they're going to surrender on the next turn, so. Alright. Give me San Lorenzo. Yeah, give me... I want that territory because it connects up. Which of these territories is better? Sulafat and Cittadella. It's like that one or that one. I don't know anything about that one, but this one does have a luxury as well as iron. I can't see anything in that. So I think make sure I have it right. Whoops. Yeah. Well, we'll leave that one go. And these guys should be fine by themselves. I'm going to send my knights up here and try to pillage this before they attach it to anything. Don't quite have enough army slots to combine these guys yet, so they'll just work together a bit for the time being. They are in my territory now, so they won't be able to attack me. Still need a little bit more for my expansionist stars. I could attach this right here. I will take this eventually, assuming they don't gang up on me too much. Let's see. They have a lot of science here. In fact, I'm not sure where they're getting all these scientist slots. I only count... See, that's 4 research quarters. There's a 5th one. Still, producing a decent amount of science. Let's get the alchemist workshop. Minus 919 food. I'm going to go ahead and just buy that out with population. Because I'll just lose them all anyway. So, let's also grab a theater. I would actually like a little bit more influence to at least have a chance of making Aerostars. We'll let that build, and perhaps queue up a public fountain as well. It's going to be a few turns before I can build any districts in here. Okay, Byblos. Let's see. A little bit of money and science. Don't have any ongoing trade. +1 money on main plaza is pretty garbage. Or +3 money, I mean. It's +3, right? Yeah. Just keep building these market quarters. I have a pretty substantial edge in those, and particularly now, because I've taken over this gemstone right here, so I get even more money on my market quarters, which is amazing. Let's see. Unbelievers. Yeah, neither of those matter to me, so I'm just going to ignore that for the time being. Now, do I have any crisis here? Yes. Refuse. If they declare war on me, that's perfectly fine. Okay. Guilds. Still trying to get this expansionist Aerostar. Should be able to... now I can't pillage because they attached it. So I'd have to wait for this to finish over here. So let's make sure they're not able to stop me from doing that. And what I can do is attach this. Oh, and I guess my expansionist Aerostars didn't update, so I do actually have the required number of stars or of territories. It's unlikely I'm going to get 3 more. I need 5k gold, so that would be 10 turns. I don't think I want to delay that long, so we are going to look for an era up. And let's talk about some of the strengths and weaknesses of of some of the cultures I can pick here. So the Dutch. I have a ton of population, so this this legacy trait would be great for generating money. VOC warehouse. I don't have really any harbors. I could get some and get a little bit of benefit from that. They do provide +2 money on traders, which makes traders way more efficient. So like in Harappa, you know, getting 3 VOC warehouses would double the amount of money I'm getting per trader. So it's not like the best option. And, you know, there are harbors I can build that I can take advantage of the VOC warehouse. It would be okay. It would be okay. Joseon, I could actually make use of this perhaps if I can get more copper. And assuming I have saltpeter, which I think is pretty likely I do. Because I will need to cross the ocean at some point. +3 science on tile producing science. I have invested a fair bit already in some science quarters in a couple cities. So that would increase my science output a decent bit. And the Sowan it's just okay. It does give extra science per researcher. I wouldn't be building that in every single city, just in my science-focused cities. It would also let me research into the industrial era, which would be nice, because I am getting close to the end of the tech tree every single era, like just before I tech up. So having more research options would be good. Ming, I mean, I wouldn't have to worry about Aesthete Era Stars ever again for the rest of the game, which would generate me a fair bit of fame. So, Grand Tea House is the best quarter for generating influence, and it's not even close. That's the main advantage of the Ming. Mughals, obviously I can get a ton of industry from these guys. So I'd get 3 Jama Masjids in Harappa, for instance, which get me 18 industry per worker. So how much am I getting? I'm getting 126, so that would basically double. So I could get a lot of industry from that, and I can get even more as I get more workers in here. And the legacy trait for the Mughals gives me this +2% industry per number of territories in your sphere of influence. That's on my capital, of course. So, my capital would have a ton of production. There's also the Edo. Gives me +1 influence per population. And I do have a lot of population, so I'd immediately generate a lot of influence. The Terra, I mean, there might be a couple spots I'd build it, but for the most part, it's a wasted emblematic quarter. It just doesn't do enough. It's too situational. But the Naginata Samurai is actually fairly potent. It does have the honor code that prevents you from retreating, but it is a nice, powerful melee unit that doesn't require any saltpeter. So something to consider. And then we have the Venetians. And I don't have any trade routes. I do have a fair number of market quarters in some cities, so the Bottega would be nice. The Gallius is better as a defensive unit on your own coastal waters rather than trying to invade someone else. It would still be better than just like a regular old unit, particularly if I'm invading in the next era. But yeah. These are probably some of the ones I'm least interested in. I already have tons of growth, so I don't care that the Haudenosaunee were taken. The Ottomans, I don't need more expansionism. I'm already perfectly capable of doing that with the stuff that I already have. And the Poles are very highly defensive, and I don't need to be defensive. So, so I'm gonna think about this for a little bit. Get some water, go to the bathroom, and we'll be right back once I've decided what I actually want to play. All right, everyone, welcome back. I do have a lot of good options that I've already talked about, and I've come down to either the Joseon or the Dutch. Now, the Joseon have been ones I've picked in the past because I've fallen behind on science, whereas this time I've kept up, so I'd be curious to know what it would be like to pick them and, actually get into the industrial era and all that. Whereas the Dutch are a culture I haven't really played much of. Now, there is the disadvantage that I may still struggle to get my merchant stars because I don't have a ton of gold income, but I do have a lot of spots for harbors that I can also easily access based on how my cities have already developed. I haven't played either of these for you guys yet. I am leaning towards the Joseon here, just because I think the Merchant Era Stars are actually going to be more obtainable without picking the Dutch, ironically, because if I pick the Dutch, they'll have inflated requirements. And I'm still working on my market quarters. So, I don't know. Well, I've talked myself into the Dutch, though, because, at least in my head, because I haven't played much of them. It'll be fun to play them a little bit. So let's go for the Dutch. And once we end the turn here, we'll be going into the early modern. And there we go. Before we end the episode, let's see what wonder it is that I can claim. Ooh, Taj Mahal. both Topkapi Palace and Taj Mahal are pretty good. Normally, I would go for Topkapi, but since I picked the Dutch and I want Merchant Air Stars, I'm going to go ahead and claim the Taj Mahal there. And with that, we'll end the episode, and the next episode we will forge forward into the early modern era. So thanks for tuning in. I'll see you next time.